Alright guys, what's going on? It's Sickbid here, aka Meek, coming at you with another Draft League Presents. Today we're going to be going over Mega-Diancie, okay? Now we're using this WPF Season 6 Master Copy again, and we're going to kind of look at where Diancie is and where I think it really should rank. Now, Gen 7 Diancie, Mega-Diancie, excuse me, fantastic Pokemon. Fantastic Pokemon. In my opinion, it's a top 10 pick. Gen 8 Diancie, I think it's even better than that. I think it's so good, and it's only gotten better with some interesting moves that have been added to its move set. So I think, and we're going to get into that a little bit later, but this is a powerhouse of a mon, and it's able to live some hits, and it's able to fire off some really strong attacks. I think you're going to be really surprised when you kind of see the moves that it's gotten now, and really kind of take a different look at Diancie and kind of see where it is now. WPF as of currently, now we're still working through. I would say we're at the beginning of the Gen 8 kind of era. We're at the beginning of the generation. We don't really know what still really is crazy great. You know, we think we have a hunch of what's pretty good and what's succeeding in draft right now, but I don't think we're even close to the end of what's going to be great. Now, when DLC 2 comes out, I think it's going to be a little bit more defined, but I think right now, Diancie Mega, with its Gen 8 moves, so Gen 8 Diancie, I think it's top 5 pick. It's a really strong fairy, really strong fairy, and a crazy good rock combination. So we'll get into that really quickly, but so I think it should be 17 between. If there was a 17.5 point tier, I would put it there. I think it's really close to Lopunny, and it has a chance to beat Lopunny a lot of the times with a couple of different sets. But we'll talk about that here in a second. So moving on to Diancie, it is a rock fairy Pokemon, and we're going to be talking about this guy. Now, there is some merit to stay in this form, but I think the biggest thing that you have to look at with Megas is, does it have any reason to stay unmega'd? Okay, so those are interesting. You know, what does the Pokemon bring before it megas? And I think this Pokemon brings two things. Okay, it brings a lot of defenses. I mean, look at those defenses. 150. We're talking Registeel kind of stats. Okay, Registeel stats, okay, with 50 HP, so that's not the best, okay? You're not going to really be attacking in this form. You really want to Mega if you're going to ever attack, but it's able to live a Mega Medicham Bullet Punch with not that much HP involved, unmega'd, and then kill it with Moonblast. So I think that's something interesting that not Mega Inc. could bring to the table, okay? And then also it gets Clear Body unmega'd. So let's say you're coming in on Sticky Webs, just coming on Sticky Webs, then you Mega Evolve, you're not even affected by them. No speed difference. So that could be interesting. Okay, we're done really talking about regular form Diancie. That's really what I wanted to talk about, was the defenses, the Clear Body ability. When it megas, this is when it gets good. Immune to Dragon, resists Fire, Flying, Dark. Really important typings to resist, and then is weak to Grass, Ground, Water, and Steel, which are really common types. All of them, Grass, Ground, Water, and Steel, are all really common types. So you kind of have to be wary of that. Not the most common types, but pretty common. Steel is a pretty common type. Water and Grass are pretty common, and I think, in my opinion, you should always have a Ground type. So, and a lot of Pokemon get Ground coverage. So before we look at these monster stats, we're going to go and look at Magic Bounce. So Magic Bounce, as long as the Pokemon doesn't have Mold Breaker, which we just went over Mold Breaker Excadrill, as long as the Pokemon doesn't have an ability that can go through, this stops Leech Seed, Stealth Rocks, any kind of Thunder Wave, Toxic, anything, any status moves or hazard moves will be bounced back. And will hit the opponent's Pokemon, the ones that are trying to use it on Diancie. So I think that's really really strong ability, and you have to be really careful with it because a lot of these things that you want to bounce back are also from Pokemon that can hit you super effectively. So you kind of have to be wary of that, but it can come into play at by making an amazing play. I would go beyond saying a good play, because making an amazing play by calling their bluff. So I think that could be interesting, and it just really goes to show you that it makes your opponent think. The higher you go in terms of tiers of leagues, the kind of outplay ability that these really high class Pokemon can give you. So yeah, Magic Bounce is really important here. So let's talk about the stats here. 50 HP, not great, but it has 110 and 110 special defense. So you can invest in your HP and really EV yourself to live a hit without too much EV distribution because of these strong defense and speed or special defense. And then we're going to talk about the massive 160 and the massive 160 special attack and attack. Okay, and they're both usable. And they're even more usable now in Gen 8, which I will talk about here in a little bit, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go look at a couple of good sets that it runs. So Stealth Rocks, not too much. This doesn't want to be your main Stealth Rocker, in my opinion. But remember, it doesn't have to run Stealth Rocks to set them, because if you switch this in after it's Mega'd, then you will bounce the Stealth Rocks back. So a lot of the time you don't even have to run Stealth Rocks if you don't want to. But you have to be wary, for sure. Moonblast, great stab, a 30% chance to lower the special attack, and then Diamond Storm, its signature move that allows it to get double the defense, which a lot of the time allows it to live a bullet punch. So that could be interesting. And this doesn't just happen 10% of the time that you double your defense. You double your defense 50% of the time when using Diamond Storm. 50%. That's super important, and it's a very, very strong move. And then great coverage and Earth Power. Okay? This is a really good set. Really strong. And then a great speed tier that it has. 110 speed tier. That's a really good speed tier for a Mega. You're speed tying, Mega Gallade. And then you're speed tying a lot of really strong sweepers, which this Pokemon is a really strong sweeper. So that's really, really good. It's really, really strong, and a lot of the time you don't even have to invest in your physical attack to hit with this Pokemon because of its base 160. That's a strong Pokemon. Another set that you can do is a Calm Mind. Sub-Calm Mind set is really nice. They don't have it here, but a Sub-Calm Mind with Moonblast and Power Gem, pretty strong. Yeah, that's pretty strong. We're going to go into the coverages here, just so we can look at it. So we got Ancient Power here. I think Power Gem is stronger and has the same accuracy, but it doesn't give that 10% chance to boost all your stats. You have Calm Mind for a guaranteed special attack and special defense. Covet's interesting. Could steal the opponent's move, or could steal the opponent's item. Gosh, talking. Gets Dazzling Gleam. You're going to want to use Moonblast every single time. Diamond Storm. There's that signature move. Earth Power for good coverage. Endeavor's okay. Explosion could be interesting. For like a Suicide lead set, but a lot of the time you're gonna want this Pokemon around to sweep, and it's a very, very strong Pokemon. It's gonna be one of your strongest that you're gonna draft in that draft. Gyro Ball, I never use it. Hail, no. Heal Bell could be interesting. That's a ban move. Iron Defense is okay. I'd rather run Diamond Storm and have a 50% chance, in my opinion, but Iron Defense is there for you to use. Magnet Rise could be interesting for immunities to, like, let's say you're facing a Powdon. You don't want to play the chicken game, right? So you Mega Evolve and then you click Magnet Rise and you call this guy's bluff. Okay, so he can't Earthquake you, and a lot of the time he's not going to have an effective move to kill you, because Stone Edge won't do that much. Moonblast, here you go. Nature Power for the interesting. This could be really, really powerful depending on if you have a terrain setter. Like let's say you have a Coco, it's always going to be a nature power electric type attack, so that could be interesting. And then here's your 100% accurate power gem, which got boosted in Gen 7. At the end of Gen 7, excuse me, with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, it got power gem, which is really, really strong. Here's your psychic coverage. Psy Shock for your other side. Gets reflect. Does it get light screen? Absolutely does get light screen. Gets rock polish. Now this is super important. This is very, very, very important. Okay, it gets rock polish. The ability to boost your speed beyond measures means that if you're running a rock polish set, you might not even need to invest in your speed, and you can invest in bulk. Okay, so you can give yourself HP. You want to give yourself a lot of HP because the HP set here is the lowest. Okay, your defenses are already really good. You need that HP set because that'll really push those defensive stats to the max. Okay, so investing really in the defenses is not crazy, is not that good. It's better to invest in the HP because you will get more out of it for this Pokemon, especially. So it gets physical. It gets physical moves. You get Stone Edge here, so you can go physical. I know you think of everybody always thinks of this Pokemon as just a special sweeper. This Pokemon does get physical, strong moves, and it gets even more now that it's in Gen 8 that we'll talk about a little later. So it does get Stone Edge, but you're gonna really probably want to run Diamond Storm, right? Because it's got 100 power. So it's the same as Stone Edge, except 15 more accuracy instead of 80. It's 95, so that's really good. You're gonna get, you have Sharpen to raise that attack if you need. It gets Smackdown to smack down the Pokemon like flying types or something like that that would otherwise be immune to your ground coverage. But again, you would use a rock move, but it's draft league. It's possible that you need to use it. And then it gets Toxic, it gets Trick Room, which could be interesting. And that's really it for Gen 7 Diancie. Now, I want to hop into Gen 8 because there's a lot of moves that I think are really, really interesting and really help this Pokemon out in Gen 8. So let's hop in there real quick. So we have the DLC leaked moves list already, and this is for the DLC 2. But we have Diancie gets Charm. That lowers the attack by 2 stages. Fake Tears. That could be interesting. If you really need a wall break with this Pokemon, you Fake Tears whatever comes in and then just blow it away. So that could be really good. So it guarantees that this guy's going to take 1 Pokemon from your team each time it comes in. Mystical Fire to hit those. Otherwise, it would have to run HP Fire or something like that to really hit the Ferrothorns, the Scizors, the different things like that. It wouldn't be able to hit those without a fire move, so it's really good that these fairies got a fire move that they can use to take down the steel types. So that's really interesting. Amnesia boosts, if I'm not wrong, boosts the user's special defense by 2 stages, so that's pretty interesting. Endure's okay. Let's say you're Toxicking a Pokemon, and you just need to live 1 hit, and then you can sweep the rest of the team. You just endure, so that could be interesting. Gets Baton Pass for switching. Encore's a really good one too. Stored Power is great for Calm Mindsets and different things like that. For doubles Ally Switch, here's your physical fairy move. Play Rough, okay? Otherwise, it did not have a physical fairy move that was really strong, or at all, maybe. Let's see here. No. Yeah, it did not have a physical fairy move. Now it's able to run physical fairy sets, physical rock sets, and really show that it can go both ways with its sweeping abilities. So you rock polish, and then they still don't know if you're physical or special. They bring in the wrong wall, it dies, and then the subsequent wall, the other wall dies because it didn't have what it took, and so then another Pokemon sweeps the rest of their team. So Play Rough's a huge one for Diancie to get. Huge. I think Amnesia is really good. Mystical Fire's really good. It's a lot stronger. HP Fire, because HP Fire would just be 60 power. So 75 power plus 100% accuracy, and that it drops in a special attack stage for the other Pokemon. That's Yikes, it's really, really strong. So Diancie is poised to be a really big threat, and I think at the end of the generation, or as we get closer to the middle of the generation, I think that'll start really showing. Is Diancie will really stand out as a really strong Pokemon in a Mega. We'll just have to see what's going to happen. But I think what I want to talk about now that we finished with Diancie and the kind of coverages that it's improved with, we kind of want to talk about pairings with Diancie. Because I think I've made my case on how good this Pokemon is. So let's get into the pairings. So with Mega-Diancie, you kind of want... I would recommend highly that you get spikes, and you get some type of entry hazards that can take advantage of this guy's massive attack stats, so that walls are absolutely unable to take these hits. Because what this thing wants to do, it wants to rock polish and then go to town. It wants to calm mind, go to town. It wants to amnesia, live a hit, go to town. Or vice versa. It wants to use these moves. It wants to use boosting moves to claim kills. Like, this guy's here to claim kills. He's not here to set rocks and wall things. He wants to come in and take people away, okay? Or take Pokemon away. So, grass, ground, water, steel, what I think would really pair well with this is I would say a steel type. A dragon type's pretty good. Dragon's really not going to resist those steel types, and you really want something that's going to resist the steel type. So I think a Dragon Fairy Steel Core, highly recommended. I will always recommend it, but I think for this mon especially, I think dragon types are really, really good, because dragon types are affected by their themselves dragon, which Mega-Diancie would be weak to, and dragons usually have coverages for grass and water and ground Pokemon, and then also steel. So dragons can beat the checks that Mega-Diancie has, and then Diancie can finally, take care of the rest of the Pokemon on the team. So I think a dragon wall breaker or a steel wall breaker is really good with Diancie, to really pave the way for this guy to clean games. Let's kind of look at where Diancie is. So he's at 16 points, which I think he should be, like I said, 17 and a half points. So let's not look at anything here. Let's not look at anything here. We can't look at another Mega. I think what really goes well with this is maybe a Hydreigon. He's 4 times weak to Fairy, right? But he can deal with a lot of those steals, right? He can deal with a lot of those steals. Another one that can deal with steals is like a fighting type Pokemon. Fighting type can really put in some work. So like maybe let's see here. I think Klefki's really good with them too. Kind of to move past that, I think Klefki's really good because of spikes. I really want to find a fighting type that would be good though. Heatran's really good. Actually, Heatran's pretty phenomenal, except ground. Maybe it's not that good. I'm trying to see here. No. Oh, Volcanian's probably really... Yeah, Volcanian's really good because, except for the ground weakness, Volcanion can be really good because 4 times resist steel, 4 times resist water. Oh, no, he does. Yeah, no, he's immune to water, excuse me. And then he's neutral to grass, and then super effective by ground. So he's not the craziest, but I think a strong water type. Yeah, strong water type or a strong steel fighting or dragon. It would be really strong with him. Halucha's pretty good with him. Is Halucha... Yeah, Halucha would be fantastic with this guy. If you were able to get maybe a terrain setter or something, that would be really, really nice. Rotom would probably be pretty good. Rotom Heat. It's okay. Rotom Heat's okay because he 4 times resists steel, it resists grass, immune to ground, is affected by water. He's neutral to water, excuse me. So Rotom Heat's pretty good. Fortress, pretty good. Chestnut's probably really good. Chestnut's really good with this guy. Chestnut would be good. So maybe a grass fighting. So like maybe a Virizion or something like that. But that's really all I have to say about Mega-Diancie. I think I've made a good case for why it should be looked at as a top tier threat. And hopefully I can get it in one of these Gen 8 leagues and I can really show, really put my mouth where my money where my mouth is, and really show how strong this Pokemon could be by making a good team with it. I'll have to draft it in the next draft that I'm in, which I got a couple of drafts that are coming up, which I can kind of showcase a couple of these mons, and I probably will. So we'll have to kind of look out for that. You'll have to look out for that. And this has been Sick Bid, aka Meek, with Mega-Diancie on Draft League Presents, and we'll see you later.